Let's check out some of the top decorator methods every Python dev should know. Number 1. LRU Cache. If you have a function which is repeatedly called, least recently used cache decorator can improve your code's performance. Here, Fibonacci 10 and Fibonacci 5 have many overlapping calls. Rather than invoking the function again and again, we can save the output using the LRU decorator inside the inbuilt functools library. It also allows us to clear and view cache information as needed. Although it defaults to a size of 128, we can increase or reduce it using the max size parameter. Number 2. Single dispatch. Python doesn't have real function overloading. If you declare a function twice with different parameters, all it does is just overwrite the previous declaration of that function in that namespace. However, there is a neat way to achieve pseudo overloading in Python using the single dispatch decorator in the functools library. With this, we can declare a method's first declaration and then register other declarations of that function. Under the hood, it uses type hinting to figure out which method to call based on the parameters. Number 3. Property. Property decorator allows us to access functions in a class as we would access any other class member. This is great for inexpensive operations in the class. However, if you do something computationally expensive, make it look expensive and don't use property. Properties also allows us to write getters and setters, which can improve your class structure. Number 4. Cached property. Now, if you have an expensive operation, but you only need to compute it once, then instead of property, you can use cached property. It has all the benefits of property and caches the results once they are computed. Number 5. Just-in-time compilation. A common misnomer about Python is that it's an interpreted language, which is not completely true. Most common flavors of Python, like CPython, the code is first converted to bytecode and then at runtime interpreted instruction by instruction. You can find this bytecode usually gets saved into a PyCache folder where you execute your script. If you are doing something computationally expensive, just-in-time compilation can improve your performance by up to 10x. You can use Numba's JIT decorator to defer a compilation of a method. But be careful about which methods you mark as just-in-time compilation. Number 6. Static methods. If you have a method which does not use any class members and just works on the parameters passed to that method, then that method could be a good candidate for becoming a static method. You can mark a method static by using the static method decorator, and then you can access that method either by using the class name or via an object of that class. One could argue that such methods should be placed outside the class in a global scope. However, if the method is logically bound to the class, it makes more sense to keep it inside and mark it as a static method. Number 7. Class methods. Unlike static method decorators, which aren't used that often, class methods are very popular, as most standard libraries use it as a way of alternate initialization function. As in this example, you can see we are creating an instance of class settings by reading it from a JSON file. We can mark this method as static and call it a day. However, this will break inheritance. If some other class like system settings inherits this class and we then call read from JSON method using that class's object, we will get an object of the settings class and not system settings. This is probably not the behavior that you wanted. This is the problem that class method decorator fixes. We can mark the method as a class method, which will then take the caller class as the first parameter. Now this gives us an instance of the class which called the method instead of the one which holds that method. Number 8. @exit. Your program crashes unexpectedly but you want to save its state or log something for debugging. @exit register helps you do that. Here's an example where we have a key value store, but we want to save the values in this key value store into some file if the program crashes. We can write a save method which saves the key value dictionary into the JSON file and then register it to run @exit or when the program crashes. You can later use this saved file to reinitialize the class object.